This is The Big Breakdown, a long look back at some of the biggest stories we're covering for you at the Hidden Killers podcast and True Crime Today. This is Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi. Here now, Tony Bruschi.
The people he's dating, I mean, is bizarre and questionable in terms of, okay, you're a professional. Why are you remotely close to someone that has that close of a tie to the Latin kings? It doesn't make any sense. Like that's not the same ecosystem. Why you don't want to put yourself in a world where you're that close to crime. It's not the world you live in.
It's the world he feels most comfortable in.
That's true. That's an interesting point, Robin. It is. So why is that?
Because that's where his mind is. He's not a dentist in his mind, and that's the way of making his money that his mommy wanted him to do. But if you are aligning and you feel more comfortable with that level of character, these degenerates, and not saying Green Beret, but where you're dealing with drug dealers, the fact you're able to find hitmen, they're just without batting an eyelash, it kind of shows you who you're aligning yourself with. Remember, we're always going to act in our own best interest in terms of our safety, security, and prosperity. We do things and surround ourselves with people that allow us to feel safe from our own perspective and own context. These people allowed him to feel safe and comfortable with who he was. They didn't challenge who he was. So that's where he saw himself. And so he was a poser in all these other areas. And so when you bring in someone, like is the doctor, Dr. Jeffrey Lacasse there as the ex-boyfriend. So here's a guy who's really, really well educated. Seems like a pretty decent guy, a little neurotic. And so he challenges Charlie without even trying to challenge Charlie, because he's just comfortable with who he is. He just is really fixated on his sister. And so it's an interesting dynamic to watch. Insecure people with more secure people, and a sister who's manipulating the hell out of everyone in her life around her, and then a mother who's trying to control everything. That's what I mean. Is this not a reality show or what?
Well, I gotta go back and go, okay, well, why is Charlie acting that way? He's a poser with money and power, essentially. And that's how he's kind of able to operate around, some of these folks that are, chilling with hitmen and things of that nature, because he has something that they want, money and power. But the problem with it is, why does he feel comfortable acting that way? What? I mean, he was brought up in this very fortunate life, this very lifestyle that was not, in the hood. So what does that say, though, about the actions of Donna or the people in general that he was brought up around, that sort of behavior, that sort of darker, controlling, we're somehow relating this to the streets and hitmen type mentality of a family that seemed to really on the surface come across as country club.
Well, that's part of it too. Is these are people he can control more easily. He can try to impress them. So it's part of who he's comfortable with. It's part of who he's control. Need more data points on this crazy family, because every time you turn over a rock, you're like, wow, there's 5 things under that rock I never knew were there.
Yeah.
So it's part of the control issue with everyone in this family. Learn behaviors of control, of psychological guilt and shame that are implied by others. I guarantee you the mother was doing that. Yeah. So he just learned behaviors from her of how you control others and who to control.
And how interesting that then translated more into folks like this that are willing to go take out and do a hit than the country club image that Donna was trying to portray. But more deep down, Donna was more street, at least in her mind, than
from New York.
How interesting. I mean, this is all conjecture, obviously. Sure. Let's take another look at some more from Jeff and his testimony, or this is him talking to police in the interrogation. Also remembered Wendi talking about how trapped she felt in Tallahassee, tied there only because of her custody battle with Dan. And in one of those late night conversations, he says she let slip a remark that would later sound almost prophetic, that life would be far easier if Dan just wasn't around anymore. Take a look.
We're also talking about us, because I was like, would you ever leave under any circumstances? Yeah, I know you don't love it here. Am I going to be dating you for 2 years and you just move? She's like, I can't because of Danny. And she said, yeah, it doesn't matter. Something about it would be convenient if Danny wasn't around anymore. But, once he was wanting to happen to him or something like that. She said, but Charlie actually looked into how that would be done and how much it would cost. She might have said, I think, Charlie. I don't remember. But it was chilling. In the moment, I was like, my stomach flipped. I was like, whoa.
The crux of the statement is my brother Charlie has looked into how much it would cost to
take care of somebody. Yeah.
take care.
This guy has very little empathy. He's just a weird guy. I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying, if you're looking at something, you can't miss Charlie. I mean, I think that's more likely than a romantic thing.
I mean, so this very much shows us that she had some knowledge of, Charlie was thinking down this possible line of where to go. But what does that say, Robin, about someone who just feels that open, that easy to share in the relationship, that my brother was thinking of hiring a hitman? It's not just it would be easier if life, if they weren't here or whatnot. It's literally going to the direction and the steps that would need to be taken to remove this person from the planet.
I think Wendi just has unintentional leakage.
Yeah.
And we see it a lot. I think she felt comfortable with him, and because he's disarming. He's a disarming guy. And so, she felt comfortable with him. She's known him a while, and she's talking about her situation because he's obviously just trying to completely influence and persuade her to stay local there. And she's kind of explaining the ways in which that could happen. And, inside the family dynamic itself, because I thought about this a lot too. So what's the likelihood that Wendi knew? What's the likelihood of Donna being part of this? The fact that they don't seem to really, and even at first I was thinking that they're protecting Wendi, and yeah, they're very protective of Wendi, but this family communicates emotionally, not pragmatic or cognitively or thoughtfully necessarily a lot of times. And so when you have an emotional regulation issue like Charlie definitely seems to have, that means you run through things out of your mouth. And so the fact that people started understanding what his intentions were is not surprising, because he runs off at the mouth, which would eventually get to Wendi. And since she has learned behavior from the rest of the family of not being able to regulate what comes out of your mouth, the world's going to know. I mean, this is why watching dumb people do dumb things is hilarious, because these people are a bunch of friggin' morons that just run off at the mouth. I mean, just watching emotional people operate with their lower brain and not their higher brain is it's comical sometimes. If it wasn't so tragic that someone lost their life, which is also interesting too. So you and I had mentioned this on one of the previous episodes. I was really curious about why Wendi divorced Dan. Yeah. And it makes more sense. But again, it's Dr. Jeff's interpretation from his optic, and granted that's got a bias to it. But I thought this was very revealing on that end as well, because I was trying to understand what's the animus that, what was the impetus for this whole action? It makes a lot more sense now just watching it, watching stupid people do stupid things because stupid people are pissed off.
They all seem to have a real problem keeping their mouths shut.
Yeah, they do.
Every single member of this family, nobody knows when to shut up. I mean, from their phone calls to each other to everything. It's just nobody can hold anything back, and it's all to their detriment.
Right.
Can I throw something in, Robin? I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, sorry, Stacey. I was occupying too much time, as always.
No, not at all. Not at all. Please. My question is, could there have been an alternate universe where they took out the mother? You know what I mean? Like, we've had enough of her shit. Let's get the hitman and go after her and be done with her. And so that we can live our lives. I mean, that's where my brain goes, is like, why did they go after Dan? Why didn't they go after her?
Well, because they had the allegiance to mom. I get what you're saying.
I think it's just a lifetime of reps.
Yeah.
So when you have a lifetime of growing up under that, and granted, it was controlling, it was unhealthy, but one of the reasons why they have such open communication, as you're noting, with each other is because they felt safe together. I mean, because you didn't really see Wendi fighting mom and dad coming all the way up to drive the 30-something-year-old back down to Florida. I mean, to southern Florida where they live, and treating her like a 6-year-old. None of these things, from, again, the optic we're getting, from Dr. Jeff here, none of these behaviors seem surprising inside that circle.
Sure.
And so for them now, what I do see, and Stacey, to your point, I think what's happened is that older brother definitely did. The older brother's like,
Yes.
you people are a bunch of wackadoos. You know, you got all broken brains. I'm fleeing the coop on you nutters. And so I think what you're seeing is he is the objective one.
Yeah.
Though I get the sense from limited data that he didn't burn necessarily any bridges. He just made them very null.
Mhm.
And I think that now that he re-entered the picture, bringing some objectivity, and you're seeing people pointing the fingers at each other, and they're seeing some objectivity. That's why you're seeing some cracks and fissures happen here. But it's really challenging for them because every time they have an inclination, maybe to your point, to go against the mother, that would invalidate their own opinion of their own behaviors for their entire lives. And that's very, very difficult for human beings to do. Typically, when do we see things like that happen? When people hit rock bottom. And so when you have that breaking aha moment, I have nothing else to lose moment. And I don't think any of them reached that yet. Although I don't think we're going to see a lot of tears shed when she goes to jail if she's convicted of this thing.
There might be a sense of relief that finally this horrible mastermind, puppet master, can no longer pull the strings, but who knows what she can do behind bars too.
Yeah. And sense of relief is interesting. I don't know if they'll immediately necessarily feel a sense of relief if she was such a big sense of comfort for so many years. I think it'll be a period of confusion as the veil of that oppression starts lifting and they start seeing, wow, there's a whole world outside this little bubble I was kind of unaware of before.
Yeah.
But again, pure conjecture, but just from what we're observing and seeing play out, seems to make some sense.
This is Hidden Killers Live with Tony Bruschi, Stacey Cole, and Todd Michaels.
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people who are listening to this or watching this going, oh, that sounds familiar. And,
Yeah.
and it may be for the first time in their life making that realization or putting a name to it, it's not just, the family's really tight and I don't get along with them, or they see things differently, or they're controlling. There is a dynamic here of what enmeshment is. How does that then translate to folks who grew up in an environment like this, to them branching out in adult life into their own personal relationships, specifically romantic relationships?
It creates a huge problem when you have another person enter the family system. And that's usually when one of the adult kids gets married. And I have story after story about adult kids who come to therapy because they're having severe marital problems because we'll say mom, could be dad, but usually it's mom, is trying to control everything about the spouse. And it creates, where do we go on holidays? How do we raise the kids? I have a neighbor who's fascinating because you can tell they're very enmeshed. She's got 4 adult kids in their 30s and 40s, and they come every Sunday for dinner. And it's like they have to come. It is, it's like the kids cannot disappoint mom. And I've gotten to know all of them over the years. And you can just look at things like that, where this is a family ritual, it's a routine. And I mean, I think it's great to get together for dinner now and then, but to have it be, we cannot disappoint mom because Sunday dinner is the thing. And when they get a spouse that maybe doesn't want to do that every Sunday, then you have conflict. And the other interesting thing that happens is the parent always blames the spouse. Well, it's her fault because she's poisoning his mind against us, or she's not allowing us to raise the kids the way we think. And so it's all her. And it puts I'll say the son, it's often a son. It puts the son in a terrible position with, trying to keep mom happy and show up for every holiday that she wants them there, and then feeling a loyalty to his wife, which is really where his loyalty should be.
I can relate terribly. I was in one of those situations, and I think when I woke up in the morning, I pissed off my mother-in-law.
Because you're alive?
Just because I woke up. I didn't die in my sleep. Yeah, I just existed. We were high school sweethearts. We dated for 10 years. And she just boy, I was taking her little boy away from her. And I'll never forget, I had emergency surgery on an ovarian cyst. And she came to my bedside and like grabbed my arm and said, "You better be able to still have children." Jesus. And I'm like on a morphine pump at this point. Like, what?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So,
like it's something you can do and fix at that moment too. Like, let me check. Let me just reach down there and figure it out for you.
Right? I'm fresh out of surgery. And instead of, hope you have a great recovery, you better be able to have children. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
I mean, Siobhan, what is going through that woman's mind that this is the appropriate response to say to someone fresh out of surgery?
Sure lacks empathy, doesn't she? It's always about her needs and her inability to see that this is off. It's profoundly narcissistic. That's a crazy in-law there.
Yeah, well, she wasn't an in-law for very long. I got the hell out of there.
Good for you.
How did he react to that, Stacy?
He cowered. He did nothing. This was a symptom of a problem. She got drunk on our, it was my senior prom. He was a year younger than me, his junior prom. And she was drunk and didn't like my dress. Now, this was in the 80s. It was a cute dress, but she didn't like it. She didn't feel that it complimented her son. I mean, so this was over and over, and she completely ruined our prom night because she was just a blathering drunk. She was pissed at me. He ended up forcing her to apologize to me the next day. That was the only time that he ever stood up against her. And there was some repercussions for that as well. She didn't talk to him. We actually weren't invited to certain dinners and things like that. So she punished him for standing up to her. And then I don't think he ever did it again.
Do you have any pictures of that dress, Stacy? I'd love to see that.
I do. I don't have them handy, but it was a black dress because every woman has to have a little black dress. And that's exactly what it was. It was strapless. It was so cute. Had just lace, like a lace skirt. It was adorable.
Sounds wonderful. Yeah.
I'm sure Todd could make an AI version of it right now that is very true to reality, that we could look at here in just a few moments to go back to the 80s.
It was traumatizing because I didn't do anything wrong. And all I did was love this boy at the time and thought that we had a future together. And here's this crazy woman who is seeing me as a threat. I mean, almost like a dog, like guarding her bowl of food, and I'm coming in to take a little nugget out of it. And it's like, holy crap, woman.
When you have the enmeshed mom role, and let's specifically talk about that, like in Stacy's situation, do they ever get better? Do they ever realize, you know what, after so many relationships that I've destroyed for my child over here, or put this much weight on, do they realize it as they're destroying things, or they're saving their kid probably in their mind because they weren't good enough for them anyhow? Is there ever that moment that they say, I'm going to back off here, I'm going to let you live your life? Or does it pretty much, does the kid, the adult child of the enmeshed mom and the narcissistic mom just pretty much have to go through life and count down the days until they're in the ground for this to stop?
Yeah, I wish I could be optimistic. I always try to hold hope, but I can't say that. Have I ever seen one that got insight and changed? I don't think so. And usually you can help the kids, in therapy, learn to set boundaries and gain perspective that this is not normal and it is ruining your relationships. So that's sort of where the shift can happen.
Sure.
But a person this profoundly narcissistic, that's just who they are.
Are there different degrees of this? Because you notice when Wendi was up on the stand, she was still trying to, I don't know, and in ways play down her mother's narcissism. I don't know if I call her this, but I call her that. And eventually she kind of does realize it. I think Wendy's also a little bit fearful that Donna holds the cards and could send her to prison for the rest of her life. But take that out of the equation. Do you have different degrees of this where it's harder to always identify in relationships? Because it's not always to such an nth where, the ex or the spouse gets offed by a hitman, but there's the emotional manipulation and things of that nature that don't always come with the giant red flag, and they come with enough of a yellow flag that one can say, well, I was just doing this and that, and you're misunderstanding me.
Yeah. It's the degree of insight varies, and as with all these things, there's a continuum with it. And this is a case where it is my guess now that Wendy's gotten some insight from this hellish disaster that's resulted. And is there hope for her? Well, if she doesn't go to prison, hopefully lessons learned here. But I think Donna will go to her deathbed with her story, believing her story, that this was all about saving her children and her grandchildren, and therefore it was justified.
Is this kind of like and I don't mean to go back so far to, I want to say the 90s, 2000s, but Everybody Loves Raymond. Is this just Marie Barone on steroids?
I never saw it.
Oh, come on. Oh, you're killing me, woman.
I never saw that.
You go watch a couple episodes.
I'll have to do that now.
Yeah.
When you put the nice situational comedy filter on it, it makes everybody feel good about it. But I think that's a lot of what we have in our society. There's very dark, damaging things that characters like this do that don't go to murder, but we write them off so much as well. It's like that sitcom. It's like that character over here. But in reality, I mean, that could be a really dark piece of that sitcom if you really wanted to dive into it. Like, what's going on in Marie's home when she's sitting there? What's going on in her thoughts at night about Raymond and about their life and what she wants to control? It probably wouldn't be so situational comedy like if we were to really dive into that.
Yeah.
We seem to have ways of, padding the walls a little bit and not wanting to quite grasp the depth of what it is, that we're dealing with. Do enmeshed families typically realize that they're abnormal, or does it take outside intervention for something to happen before someone says, hey?
Yeah, I don't think they realize they're abnormal. And I think it's also true for disengaged families. I came from a very disengaged family where you were told at 18, you better have a plan and get out of the house, and you're going to be on your own. And so there was no parental involvement in life, certainly from adolescence on. Parents just kept their hands off. And I think that sort of set me up for, really bad decisions, because how do you make a decision when you're 15 about what you're going to do to support yourself? And there was no support for college or anything like that. So I think that there's a degree of cluelessness. No matter what kind of family you're raised in, you just think it's normal. You think that this is how families work. And maybe you get some insight, if why are you anxious and depressed? Why have you made bad decisions? You talk to other people who say you were raised in a really odd situation, but you don't see it until that happens.
It was a dramatic day, to say the least, at the trial of Donna Adelson. We're going to break down Wendy's testimony. There was other testimony today that was also wow. But we're gonna keep ourselves over here in the Wendy box for today and try and go through what unfolded. It was nothing short of explosive. We are going to hear Wendy on the stand admitting that Charlie joked about a hitman, that she was on the phone with him for 18 minutes right in the window when Dan was murdered, and that the very TV tied to that hitman joke became her alibi on the morning of the killings. We'll walk through her reaction at the crime scene, the roadblock, her decision to change her children's names to Adelson while skipping their father's funeral, and her stunning admission that she hasn't spoken to her mother, Donna, since late 2023, a mother who pressured her to back Charlie and who once called relocation a matter of life and death. And perhaps most damning of all, Wendi herself once pointed suspicion at her own family during her police interview. This is a testimony that lays bare the Adelson family dynamic, or what is left of it, and how far Donna's influence has reached. And there is a lot to unpack in all of this. There are new pieces that are coming out today, and that we are learning about the Adelson family and their dynamics. But let's start with a little view from the courtroom itself. Let's start with taking a look specifically at Wendi's issues with Dan. Keep in mind, Wendi was saying, I just, I want this to be a good relationship, parenting-wise, and da-da-da-da. Obviously, it didn't turn out all that well. This is Wendi being confronted with her own words of what she had referred to Dan about. Keep in mind, Wendi's not on trial, but this is what she had to say on the stand.
At the time of Dan Markel's murder, was the defendant, your mother, very angry at Dan Markel?
Before he died?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
And you hated him too, right?
At certain points, I was very frustrated with him.
Did you refer to him as an STD?
I don't remember saying that.
Tab 5.
It looks like I made that analogy.
Danny is an STD. One wrong mistake, marrying him, and this will never go away. Is that what you said?
I did.
And did you share that kind of sentiment with your mother?
I don't remember ever saying that, so I don't think it's something I said very often.
And this was said in an email on February 26th of 2013, correct?
It was.
Approximately 17 months before the murder?
Yes, I don't think it was an email, though. It looks like it was sort of an iMessage.
Okay. Did you ever refer to your ex-husband as the Dark Lord?
I don't remember saying that, but I certainly might have.
Well,
did you refer to your ex-husband as Gibbers?
I did.
What is the meaning of Gibbers?
Gibbers was just a silly name that a friend helped me come up with to basically make him feel less scary. It was nonsense.
Did it reference Jew in boots?
That I don't remember.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't a friendly name, right?
It was a silly name.
It was an
Did you ever say that you hated Dan Markel?
I don't remember saying it, but I certainly could have.
Tab 31, please, to refresh your memory.
I said that I hate him in this moment.
Okay, and did you say in that email, that same email, quote, I hate my children's dad?
I did.
And you agree that email was sent approximately 15 months before Mr. Markel was murdered?
It was in April of 2013.
That's right. Yes, ma'am. The approach with what I've marked.
I don't know what's going on with Wendi's hair today.
It's very cute, I think. Her eyebrows are on point.
And 57.
Or is that Botox?
What could be?
It looks like they don't think they're moving.
Gibbers nickname. Did you have that nickname stored in your cell phone as Dan Markel's contact name?
I did.
I can show you these exhibits and ask if they're fair and accurate. Contacts 56A. Who is that a contact for? You know.
It's my mom's phone number, so that would have been. It's a picture of Ben as a little guy.
Are we getting a double feedback on this at all? It sounds a little.
Yes.
For mom at that time.
Yes.
And 56B.
That's my dad.
And that's his phone number?
It is.
56C.
That's my brother.
Charlie?
Yes.
Okay, fair and accurate phone number for him at that time?
Yes.
And then 57, is that the contact you had in there for your ex-husband, Dan Markell?
Yes.
Judge, at this time, asked to move to evidence 56 and 57.
All right, so I think we've seen a good chunk of Wendi there talking about, she wasn't on the best terms, and that's, it's understandable. Like, a lot of people go through divorces. It's not always going to be a fun and everyone's wonderful and they're a lovely human being type thing.
Really?
So I'm not that concerned about the comments that she made about, what would be more concerning is how much Donna leaned into them. And Donna went into this not so much of, a healing force, but more of a, yes, let's get this rage up a little bit more. Let's pour a little gasoline on this shit. And that seems to be, what Donna did. Wendi described that Donna talked about relocation, not just in terms of, I'd really love to see the kids more. It's more like life and death. Let's take a look at this.
What about Charlie? Was he outraged by the court's decision?
I honestly don't remember him being outraged.
But to your mom, it was a big deal.
My mom was really upset.
Yeah. It was described by your mom in several places as like a life and death proposition. Do you agree with that?
I think my mom thought my life in Tallahassee wasn't good.
And who was for that to decide?
Right.
Is it true that you never would have left Dan Markell without your mom's suggestions?
Overruled. She may answer the question based on her own knowledge.
I would have left Danny regardless of anyone else's input. I was very unhappy.
Did you ever write that you would have never left him without your mom's suggestions?
I don't remember saying that.
Please refer to tab 41.
Yeah.
Well,
there you go.
Good thing we got this.
Yeah, we got the goods, honey.
Doesn't remember a lot of things. She's got her mom's memory.
Not helpful, is it? Ruh-roh.
I do say here I wouldn't have done it on my own.
Okay.
Gosh, what does that mean?
You specifically reference your mom?
I say my parents and brother's suggestions and support.
Okay.
I think because I wasn't happy, but part of me thought maybe I would just stay until the kids grew up.
That checks. Tony's laughing.
One moment, I've lost my place a little bit. All right, I think you already testified you did not offer your mom your divorce petition to edit. Is that your testimony?
Sorry.
Did you
What's the
send your
question?
divorce petition to your mother to assist you in editing it?
I don't remember doing it.
I remember a lot.
And did your mom also pretend to be you to Mercer University to help you complete your divorce affidavit?
I have no memory of that.
Got a little pop out here of this email from your mom. Obviously, I pretended to be you contacting these financial institutions. Is that something that she would normally do on your behalf? Pose as you?
I had very little understanding or involvement of my financial situation. And so that might have been an account that my dad had created for me or that had like co-signatory authority. So
Oh, Jesus
that's
Christ,
possible.
you're a freaking
She's
adult.
an attorney, right?
Grow up.
She's an attorney. Am I correct on this?
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head, but I believe she's a professor. I could be wrong. You can look it up.
I thought she had a law license.
I don't know. We got to look it up.
She does.
Okay. This sounds like somebody needs to investigate her. This sounds like good.
No, I mean, these are like excuses like a high school girl is going to give. Where were you out last night so late? You know, I mean, it's these, holy shit. Well, here's the problem with investigating her. She can say anything on the stand right now with immunity. So if she wants to let some stuff out right now, she should let some stuff out right now, because that's where she can throw a lot out right now that if were to be brought out in a different setting, could be very damning. But if she can reference it back to this came out in court here this way, can't use it.
This has to harm her reputation immensely.
Oh, come on. She doesn't have a reputation anymore.
Well, anymore.
It's not like this is like, it's not like, oh, gee, this seems a little weird over here with Wendi. It's stunning just how involved mom continued to be in these children's lives well into adulthood. These people would have been in like at least their 30s when this stuff was going down. They have kids, they have families, they have careers, they have businesses, they have degrees, they have life, and mom's posing as you.
What is going on in your life that your mother is so entrenched in everything that you do, and including, you don't want mom parsing through your divorce decree to find things that irritate her. You know what I mean?
I don't think there was any other way with these folks. I think this was all so normal for them, and none of this seemed odd. It seems odd to us.
Well,
but
it's the boiling frog metaphor.
I think within the dynamics of the Adelson family, this is just how business is done.
Yeah.
And it's looked as, well, why don't you have me and your father look at this, or me look at this? Or, you know, we're looking out for you. I mean, and that's the whole thing. Looking out, like, no, you're trying to control people. Mm-hmm. Like you got the whole family against her husband. And then she decided, I should probably not be here because my enmeshed family says this is a bad idea.
God. You know, can you imagine trying to date in this family? Oh my God.
I'm glad that one got away, and he seems to know what he was dealing with. His testimony is striking, and we're not going to listen to that one today, but we'll get through it at some point. Donna had a lot of contempt. For Dan, and it was even more, brutal than just, Wendy's understandable contempt going through a divorce. This is like, why? Why are you so angry? Oh, because he has a life and he has children, and his children are his priority, and your priority is yourself. Here's what some of Donna's repeated insults looked like toward Dan, according to Wendi.
Did your mom ever call Dan Markel any disparaging names around this time frame?
She did.
Okay, including piece of shit?
Yes.
I'm good with that.
Asshole?
Yes.
I'm good with that.
A narcissist?
Yes.
A bully?
Yes.
A bastard?
Yes.
Did your mom help you prepare for your meetings with your divorce lawyer?
My mom offered help, but I don't think I needed help preparing for meetings with my divorce lawyer.
Who was your divorce lawyer?
Kristen Adelson.
Your mom, in an email dated January 9th, 2013, indicates that she thinks the job opportunities that you had in South Florida was a major bargaining chip in your divorce. Did you agree with that?
Did I agree with it at the time?
Yes.
I don't remember.
And she did a lot of work sort of making arguments to that point, didn't she?
I believe so.
And did you forward your correspondence with your lawyer to your mother?
I did.
Publishing 64. I'm going to skip to J. She wanted to be kept informed, right?
Yes.
Your mom mentions, let's see if I can find it. This is 64G, your South Florida legal team. She will try to remember to discuss things with your South Florida legal team. Who was that?
I think she was jokingly referring to herself.
Oh, she's the South Florida legal team.
I don't know who else it would have been. I think that's why there's a smiley face. I think it was a joke.
Okay. More questions for your upcoming hearing with your attorney. Did you forward your mom's questions or ask your mom's questions when you met with your attorney?
Probably not all of them, but if there was something that I thought was useful, I probably forwarded it or had a conversation about it.
And here you can see in paragraph 2, your mom referred to Dan Markel as Gibbers as well, right?
It was a silly name, yeah.
Let's go to the order denying your petition to relocate. Was your mom aware that the order was filed?
Yes.
Okay. And this is language from the order denied with prejudice, meaning you can't re-raise it, right?
Right, you can't refile.
And your mom wanted to fight the decision, didn't she?
She did.
Did you feel railroaded by her in this email where she's kind of bullying you to keep fighting?
Please rephrase your question.
Did you feel railroaded by your mother?
No.
Okay, but she wants you to continue to take action.
It was denied. I wasn't taking any more action.
Not any more legal action.
I was not taking any more action of any kind.
Didn't your mom have some other ideas for some other actions that could happen?
She did.
She did want to take it to an appeal. Do you remember that?
Actually, I don't remember, but
that's on tab 43 of your binder.
yes, I see.
Okay, but she also wanted to develop this plan of action that could be implemented between the time you learned of the relocation denial and your final hearing in court to maybe strong arm Mr. Markel into agreeing to the relocation. Do you remember that email?
Yes.
Okay, and she had some ideas for how to do that, right?
Yes.
And she said Gibbers hasn't beaten the Adelson family yet. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So what was her plan of action? What did she suggest you could do to get Dan Markel to relent and let you take his kids to South Florida?
She suggested that I pretend.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's not even micromanaging, that's macromanaging.
The suggestions that she has, like go take pictures of the kids in front of the Christian church.
Yeah, that's
what the hell? There's another aspect to this. I'm trying to understand the Donna Adelson angle of it. Of what she had said. Donna suggested that if Americans could be dropped behind enemy lines in World War II wearing Nazi uniforms to get the job done, then Wendi should be willing to put on an act in her custody battle.
Ouch. Ouch.
She pushed it further, saying even if Wendi dressed her kids up in Hitler Youth uniforms, she wouldn't care, as long as it scared Dan Markel and showed him he wasn't in control. This is a monster.
Yeah.
Let's keep listening.
Any acting training?
No.
Do you know why your mom would Google how to teach an actress emotion?
I don't know.
Did she ever share with you or forward you any tips on how to bring emotion or fake emotion?
Not that I remember of any kind.
Which you surely don't remember shit so far, so that
Right.
doesn't hold
What about
up.
a financial offer? Was that part of it as well?
Yes.
What was the financial offer to be?
I think it was $1 million.
Who was going to pay the $1 million?
My mom, my dad, and my brother.
And they were going to pay $1 million. You didn't have to pay any of it?
I don't remember having to pay any of it.
Okay. And they were going to give Dan Markel $1 million for what?
So that I could relocate.
Okay. Did you ever make that offer to Dan Markel?
No,
To your knowledge, did anyone make it to him?
I don't think so.
Would it have worked?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? I'm going to guess it's a big no. I'm going to guess he turned that down and then take control from him.
Yeah.
She's all about getting control from Dan Markel, right?
Yes.
Ding, 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 bingo.
And you told her these ideas were crazy, didn't you?
I did.
Mom, you're nuts.
I will not be introducing my children to Christianity. I truly believe it will backfire.
Again, Your Honor, the prosecutors testifying and
As the counsel testifying, sustained, please make sure you're asking open-ended questions to the witness. Ms. Hepperman,
I'm reading from State's Exhibit
Yeah.
64V, which is in evidence.
please proceed.
Did you say it would backfire?
Yes, those are my words.
And what did you mean by backfire?
I don't remember, but I can read there below what I was saying.
Did it have to do with this will give him ammunition to pursue things in court?
I might have meant that at the time.
Did your mom
Of
respect
course
your
you meant
decision
that.
not to use her suggestions?
I mean, she had to have, right? I'm a grown up.
See, oh, you are?
No, you're not acting like one.
I
in
don't
this
think that's
relationship.
ever quite occurred.
Kept pushing though, didn't she?
She was suggesting other ideas.
Okay.
Suggesting
January
ideas.
27th, 2013 email 64W. Charlie brought up a good point when he said that Americans were dropped behind enemy lines during World War II wearing Nazi uniforms to get what they wanted. They had a job to get done, and they did what they needed to do to accomplish it. You have a job to get done and a very short time frame to accomplish it. If you dressed your kids up in Hitler Youth uniforms and brought them down here, I could care less if it was an act of defiance and would show gibbers
Holy
that
shit.
he's not in control. Did
I
she
hope someone sets
suggest
Donna's hair on fire
that
in
to
prison.
you?
Yes.
Literally.
Well, I think she's setting her own self on fire at this point.
Oh my God. What a monstrous bitch.
This is some bad stuff.
This is why folks like this, these narcissistic mothers, there's so many folks like this in the world. There's so many matriarchs like, and there's men that do the same thing too, but there's so many like this that everybody's looks, oh, well, they're just kind of eccentric. They're this.
Yeah.
They're this shit. And they will go to any lengths possible if they have the means. They will only be stopped by their means. And she had means.
Well, $1 million. Oh my goodness. Yeah. She felt privileged. She felt that she had resources to do whatever she needed to do for whatever plan she had.
Oh,
period.
My God.
You know, the rest of us out there, we don't have $1 million to throw around. We are limited.
Yeah, well, you pull it all from your family, and then we're going to give him this. Grandma's also, of course, as all great grandmothers do that have the interest of their grandchildren at heart, is poisoning the minds of her grandchildren, trying to get the very children that he fathered and brought into this world to turn against him. Because, Grandma doesn't like him, and that's what should happen. Let's take a listen.
Do you recall a motion being filed by Dan Markell that we've referred to as the grandma motion?
No.
Did Dan Markell in March 26th of 2014 file a motion seeking to preclude your mother from having unsupervised contact with your kids?
I don't remember him filing that motion, but it sounds like if it's a motion you have a name for, then it exists.
And in that motion, do you recall, or does it refresh your memory, that he was saying, Grandma, the boys were telling him, Grandma says you're stupid, Grandma says she hates you, and as a result, he was concerned about your mom alienating the kids or turning the kids against him?
I remember hearing about this motion.
Okay. And that is a motion that was never got to be heard, right?
That was part of the motion to enforce the settlement agreement.
But which was never heard?
Which was never heard.
Because he was killed?
Because, yes.
Look at Donna.
Funny how that happens.
And do you remember why you didn't forward your mom the actual motion that was filed in reference to that?
I don't.
Well, it wasn't her
Okay.
business.
If you will check see if you can find tab 98 in the back there, please.
I have tab 98.
Okay. Does it refresh your recollection as to the question, which is, where was your mom on the day that the relocation was filed, which for your reference was 3/26/14.
So this email is from 3/25/14, and it looks like my parents were coming up. It says coming on Thursday, and this was written Tuesday the 25th. So my guess is that they were coming on Thursday the 27th.
And was it their practice to typically stop in Orlando and spend the night on the trip up to Tallahassee?
I don't remember.
Okay. The allegations that are laid out in Dan Markell's motion were sent to you in an email before the motion was ever filed. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that, no.
In Publishing 64AA, a December 16th, 2013 email. This email indicates that Dan Markell is going to be introducing a major issue, grandparental alienation. This will be part of our ongoing effort to resolve outstanding issues. But basically, at the bottom there, Ben announced to me, Abba. What does Abba mean?
It's Abba. It means father in Hebrew.
Father. Grandma says you're stupid. Okay, and he details a couple, I think it's 3 different instances in which his boys have told him that Grandma, your mother, has told them that you're trying to take my sunshines away. She hates you, that sort of thing. Does this refresh your memory at all about those allegations?
It does.
Okay. And this email, you did forward this email to your mother. Do you recall that?
I don't recall that, but it makes sense that I would have.
And your mom responded to it, or someone responded to it. Wow. Do you remember that?
I was shown that email yesterday.
Okay. And you forwarded that email not only to your mom, but to a total of 12 different people. Do you remember that?
I remember being very surprised that he was trying to accuse a member of the Florida bar of fraud and going to all these lengths to avoid paying money that he owed me.
Okay. And is that the reason why you sent it to the 12 people?
It was pretty shocking what he was doing.
Being offended that your mom is turning the kids against their own father? I would say having the kids dress up in Hitler Youth outfits and standing outside a synagogue or something might be a little more shocking.
Well, take your pick. What's offensive to you at this point? All of it. Should be all of it.
I don't remember.
I don't
remember.
know.
I don't remember. Like, this is all news. Like, oh, these things happened to me in my life? I didn't know that.
What, 10, 12 years ago?
Oh, I don't know about that. Oh, and I feel these poor kids. They're teenagers. They're like it's driving age-ish, if not about to be. And I can't imagine their opinions of their family.
Yeah.
All I can say is it gets better. Run as far and fast as you can from these people, including mom. Because this is some dark stuff you got going on here with your family. You can't pick them. I know that.
No, but you can actually, once you realize...
You have agency.
Once you realize how dysfunctional your family is, you do have a choice. You can either be immersed in that toxicity, or you can say, you know what? It ain't worth it, and I am walking the fuck away.
It's all being very much laid out for them here. Wendi admitted that, the hitman joke. We've heard about this before. We've heard Wendi talk about this before. Charlie made a joke about, I got you this TV because it's cheaper than a hitman. And it didn't age well.
And can I interject something here? So I've alluded to it before. I'm kind of going through, I wouldn't say similar, but I'm going through a divorce at the moment. And it's very fresh and very new. I've said some things, not doing anything, but there, when you're angry, you say some things.
Sure.
I'm going to say that because divorce, and depending on what the reasons are for divorce, you could be fueling some anger. So people say things. I get that. You can hear me over here snickering.
But this is Charlie saying it. This is not her saying it. Let's go to the clip.
Fair to say during the year or so leading up to Mr. Markel's murder that your brother did not like him?
I think that's fair to say.
Did your brother joke about hiring a hitman to kill Dan Markel?
He did make that joke.
What was the joke specifically?
My brother had bought me a TV as a divorce present, and he would make the joke that the TV was cheaper than hiring a hitman.
Did you ever tell Jeffrey Lacasse about that joke?
I may have mentioned that joke to Jeff Lacasse.
Who is that?
Jeff Lacasse was someone that I dated after Danny and I got divorced.
Had he met your parents?
I think he may have met them once, but not in any kind of formal way. Just my parents were visiting and he might have said hi, something like that.
Did your parents express any opinion about him, whether they liked him or not?
I don't remember them really taking notice of him.
Do you remember sending a text back on May 28th of 2014 that saying, quote, my parents are not into him, referring to Jeff?
I don't remember sending that text.
On the morning of the murder, did you have an appointment at your residence on Aqua Ridge?
I did.
What was the nature of that appointment?
I had an appointment with the Geek Squad. There were some vertical lines on the TV. I didn't know if maybe one of my kids had tapped it or touched it, but it wasn't working. And so I had an appointment, and they were scheduled to come sometime between 8 and 12.
And was that the TV that was the same TV that your brother joked he got you as a divorce present because
It was
cheaper than hiring a hitman?
Yes.
The irony on that, I don't think it has anything to do with the murder. I just think the irony is priceless.
I need some clarification on something. Maybe you can help me with this.
Mm-hmm.
And both of you, Tony and Todd. So in divorce, are there gifts? Do you register somewhere? Because she's mentioning she got a TV as a divorce gift.
Oh.
Where do I sign up for this shit?
Yeah, I don't think.
Is there a registry online somewhere?
I can't say I've ever gotten divorce gifts.
This is news to me.
Yeah.
Somebody fill me in the comments, would you?
I don't think it's a super common thing that that divorce gifts are given out. But the irony I just find. It's undeniable. They had dinner, and as you do when you're at a nice restaurant, you just projectile vomit at the table. Wendi did, and it was when Charlie was having a celebratory dinner after Dan died. Let's hear about that.
Did you go to a dinner after the murder of Dan Markel in which you vomited at the table?
It was several weeks until I felt ready to leave my apartment. I was very, very scared.
So that happened?
It did happen.
Okay, and that was in a restaurant, right?
Mm-hmm. It was at a restaurant.
Who was present at that dinner?
It was my brother and me.
And where was the dinner? South Florida or here?
It was South Florida.
Okay, and you said it was several weeks after the murder?
I believe so.
Had you ever heard Charlie, your brother, refer to that dinner as a celebratory dinner?
Only in previous trials, but never to me personally.
Did you hear him say it the night that you had the dinner or after that?
No.
That you threw up at the celebration?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a weird reaction to have.
It is.
Unless you're, physically ill. Like there's something wrong. You have a bug. You got this, you got that. It's weird to be going to a celebratory dinner for the death of your ex-husband, the father of your kids.
It almost has a Corey Richins feel to it because didn't she have a big party?
Yeah, the next day.
Yeah, correct. That's what that conjures up in my brain.
Yeah. It's how narcissists operate.
Yeah.
The TV repairman, like we said, that arrived the same time Dan was killed, which is just the irony is insane. Wendi, her actions that day were a little weird too. And keep in mind, this is not a trial of Wendi Adelson. This is a trial of Donna Adelson. But the actions one takes when you're, seeing a bunch of police outside of the home of your ex, where your kids are supposed to be and all of that, let's take a look at that.
Do you remember the time frame that the repairman was at your house on the morning of the murder?
I remember more or less. I feel like he came, he was supposed to come sometime between 8 and 12, and he came on the early side. Because I just remember being surprised and trying to get dressed really fast.
Okay. And Dan Markel was killed between 8 and 12, right?
He was.
That now. Who paid the repairman that came to your house?
I think he was under contract. So I don't have a strong memory of that, but I don't remember paying him. It's possible that I did.
I'm going to ask you a few more questions about Mr. Lacasse. You said you might have mentioned the joke to him about TV's cheaper than a hitman. Did you ever use the term TV as code for the murder in any context?
No.
Did you ever hear your mom do that other than the recordings in this case?
No.
So she didn't talk to you about the TV?
No.
Did you see Mr. Lacasse? And you said that was somebody that you had been dating around the time of the murder, is that right?
We had broken up just before that week that Danny was killed.
All right. Did you have an occasion to see him on July 13th of 2014? So just about a week before the murder at your residence.
I don't remember him being at my residence, but I do remember seeing him around that time.
Okay. And on July 13th, 2014, do you remember asking to share something in confidence with Mr. Lacasse?
I don't remember doing that.
Did you tell Mr. Lacasse in the context of if something were to happen to Danny, I could move back to Miami? Did you tell Lacasse that regarding the relocation battle in the summer of 2013, Charlie had, seriously, not as a joke, explored all options to resolve the problem, including hiring a hitman?
I did not have that conversation with Jeff Lacasse.
Uh-oh.
And I think you said the week before, but wasn't it actually about, I think it was 4 days before the murder, you sent an email to Mr. Lacasse? You remember that email bump in the road?
I remember telling him I didn't want to have contact with him anymore. I don't remember exactly what date I sent it, but whatever date Sunday or Monday of that week would have been around when I sent it.
There we go. Does this refresh your memory at all?
It does.
Okay. And so you weren't officially breaking up with him so much as asking for a certain period of time without contact. Is that right?
That sounds right.
Okay. And then your plan was to reach back out to him and figure things out one way or the other?
I mean, I think I was breaking up with him, but I have a strong aversion to conflict. So this was probably my way of not breaking up with him without breaking up with him.
Okay.
You have a strong aversion. I wonder why that is.
Back to the day of the murder. We know about the TV repairman left about, did you say about 9?
The truth is I don't really remember, but something like 9 or 10.
Definitely before 10 or by 10?
Yes, that's my best memory.
All right. Where did you go after the TV? What was the next place you went after the TV repairman left?
So I was home, I think, for a couple of hours first. I was doing a little bit of work. I was talking to some friends. I think I ate breakfast. And then I left probably close to noon or a little bit after noon. I was meeting 2 friends who I would frequently meet on a Friday to have lunch with. And so I went to run a few quick errands and then meet them for lunch.
And on your way to meet the friends, did you have an occasion to go down Trescott?
I was trying to turn down Trescott. That's where I used to turn and take just the road I was used to. But there was yellow tape up. And so when I tried to turn, I couldn't turn. So I made a 3-point turn and
she's getting a little
kept
nervous.
going on Centerville.
She has hit
So
the
you
mic with her
encountered a
hand.
police roadblock at that location?
Yes.
Okay, couldn't go any further because there was a police car and some yellow tape, right?
Right.
And that was, you were able to see that from the intersection there, or you actually turned onto Trescott?
I tried to turn and then I couldn't go through. So I turned around and kept going.
How far down Trescott did you proceed before you turned around?
Just until the tape.
Okay.
Okay.
Just until the tape. You didn't think maybe I should call my ex-husband. Maybe I should figure out what the hell's going on. Let's talk to Charlie.
Yeah.
For 18
Somebody
minutes
knows
about all of this. She admitted that she had an 18-minute phone call with Charlie at 9:30 a.m. right there in the murder window. Let's take a look at that.
On the morning of the murder?
I did.
And does an 18-minute conversation at 9:30 a.m. that day sound correct?
It does.
Do you remember the nature of that conversation?
I do. I didn't purchase the TV, so I didn't know how much the TV cost. And so I called him to find out if it made more sense to get the TV repaired or buy a new TV, because I didn't know what the delta was there.
Okay. Can you tell the jury one way or the other for sure whether you mentioned Dan Markel's travel plans to Charlie during that 18-minute phone call?
I can't say for sure, but I don't see why I would have brought it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a lot that happened that morning, and a lot that Wendi doesn't remember, and a lot that just looks really icky, the stuff that she does remember. And what looks even ickier, I guess, would be the fact that your kid's dad is murdered. And then you decide, you know what? Right after this, right after they're trying to cope with this and, remember their dad and have fond memories and think of the good times, because there was no history of abuse here. There was nothing bad about Dan Markel. There's no we got to rescue these children. No, the monster here are the Adelsons. Those are the monsters in this case. Mm-hmm. And what do? Well, let's change your last name. Let's change your name that you were given now back to Adelson. And it gets even worse. Oh, your dad who just died? We're not going to take you to the funeral.
To me, that feels like the biggest violation of all. I mean, the whole thing is a violation. Don't get me wrong. But once it's happened, that is a huge violation for these kids. Huge.
Yeah, let's take a look at that.
And did you change your children's names after Dan Markel was killed?
About a year after I did.
In what way did you change their names?
I changed their last name, and I changed my older son's middle name.
Okay. And you changed their last name from Markel to what?
To mine.
Adelson.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start by asking you about this email dated July 3rd, 2014. What is this?
This is it looks like an electronic invitation for my dad's 70th birthday.
An Evite, right?
Yes.
And who sent the invitation to you?
Well, it looks like it's through the postmark.
I mean, who sent the party invitations out?
I don't remember if I helped with the Evite or if my mom did it. So I don't know if I sent it to myself or if it's from my mom.
Would you have sent it to yourself?
I'm a little better with tech stuff than my parents, so I might have helped them put together an Evite.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Who does it say is the host of the party?
Oh, my mom's the host. You asked who sent the email, and I didn't remember. So my mom is the host of the party for my dad.
And to whom is the party invitation sent?
It's sent to me and my two children.
Okay. And this was sent on July 3rd, 2014, before the murder, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then back up just a little bit here. This email, do you recognize this one? Are you able to read it okay on your screen?
I can read it okay.
All right. Who sent this email?
This is from, it says my mom, but it says Harvey Adelson. So again, I don't know which parent it's from.
Okay. If it was from Harvey Adelson, would he say Lincoln is going to be attending Shabbat with his grandpa, Harvey Adelson?
I mean, it seems more likely somebody else would have written with his grandpa, but I don't know. I kind of write those things sometimes, like Lincoln will attend something with his mom and say my name. I know it's awkward to say it in the third person, but I don't think it's impossible.
Okay. But this reference to Lincoln Adelson did happen prior to the legal name change, correct?
Yes. No, I from the beginning, I was scared when I put them in school. And so I didn't legally change their name until a year after, but I was socially using my name for them.
And did that start as soon as their dad was killed?
No, it started when I had to register them for school.
And your mom helped with the registrations as well, didn't she?
I think I did the registrations myself.
What about here for flag football? Did your mom assist with that?
It looks like she did. There were some after-school activities.
Okay, and she registered your child under the last name Adelson, right?
Yes.
Where was Dan Markell buried?
In Toronto.
Were you or your children in attendance at his funeral?
No.
That makes me sick. That makes me absolutely sick. I don't understand that.
Well, they won their battle.
Well,
they don't have empathy. They got what they wanted.
Yeah, but they have an appearance to put on at this point because
I think they were riding high. I think they thought, because at that point in time, nobody was really the wiser at that moment. Nobody's arrested yet. Nobody's going after this person or that person at that moment. I think they were kind of high on their horse, honestly, where they thought, oh, okay. And when you think when you're too overconfident in yourself, that's when you start screwing things up. And that's, I think, what happened. I found this interesting because, the enmeshed family here that we've talked about, which they certainly have been. And Wendi is a extremely damaged individual, as you can tell from mom over the years. I'm not saying she did any. I don't know that. I, honest to God, don't know that she knew that her family killed Dan Markell. I think she could have had her head in the sand or have been so conditioned to just be used to their insanity and the things they spew out that it was just more stuff. Mm-hmm. But I look at Wendi, if that's your mother, if that's the person that raised you, and I don't say this with hate or angst, you're going to be damaged. Anybody who grew up with that as mom is going to be damaged. Charlie's damaged. Everyone's damaged because of mom. So I think you got Wendi, just as you can tell here, and how extremely bizarrely immature she is on so many facets of life at this stage in the game, really just shows her utter dependence, codependence, if you will, which would take us back to the enmeshment of the family. But apparently, no contact since 2023. That's interesting. Let's look at this.
When was the last time you spoke to your mother, Donna Adelson, as we sit here today?
November of 2023.
Okay. And so she hasn't given you any information or advice about how to testify in court, has
No,
she?
ma'am. No.
What about, you did offer testimony in November of 2023 as well, right, on a related case?
Yes,
Okay.
October.
And did your mom, when you spoke to her in November of 2023, offer you any advice or thoughts about how you should act or behave or what you should say in court?
Yes,
She did.
she did.
And what was that?
I can't tell you I remember exactly, but she was hoping I would be supportive of my brother.
Okay. And do you know what her thoughts were afterwards?
I do.
Okay. And what were they?
She was devastated.
She didn't feel you were supportive.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other stuff that was going on wasn't a deal breaker, but now we hit that line. Now we found that place where, okay, that was a bridge too far.
Well, and
I'm out.
Yeah. I mean, well, this is what happens when you're growing up in that sort of chaos. There is the goalposts are always moving, and they're moving at the behest of the matriarch or the big narcissist that's controlling the game.
Yeah.
So this is why she's not so shocked by half of this stuff in court. This is normal. This is the Adelsons. This is life.
Well, and thank you for bringing that up because I'm just sitting here like, I can't believe she's putting up with this. Well, again, you're right. This is what she's used to. And it's so easy to just gloss over stuff instead of fighting it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're just used to it. It's what you've known for X amount of years.
And she's averse to confrontation. We just heard that from her own words. So
conflict avoidance.
And why is that? Because I'm sure if you ever confronted Donna in any of the years before the murder on anything, it wouldn't have ended well in your favor. It would have been heartache. It would have been headache. It would have been manipulation. It would have been guilt tripping. It would have been every trick in the narcissistic mother's playbook of trying to get what she wanted. And at some point you just go, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to tell you shit. And, you know, I feel like maybe she finally got there after murder. But sometimes it takes that far for someone to realize just how insane their family dynamics are. Wendi was also very, I think, revealing in that police interview early on. This is really what put the whole damn thing into motion. She's going to talk about it here.
Why did you tell investigator Isom in your law enforcement interview that you were worried the police, or you were worried, I guess, in the police car on the way to be interviewed, that you might be considered a suspect?
Because I couldn't think of anything bad going on in his life other than the divorce. And frequently the ex-wife is a suspect.
Were you treated as a suspect?
I was not.
But you mentioned 9 times in your law enforcement interview being a suspect. Didn't you?
I did, yes.
When you were approached at the restaurant, you weren't yet told that this was a shooting, were you?
I was not.
You were only told something happened with your ex-husband.
I don't even know if I was told that. I was very scared something happened to my kids, and that's why law enforcement was there, and they wouldn't tell me what was going on.
But they did reassure you that the kids were fine. You remember
They told me that law enforcement officers were with the children, which terrified me because I didn't know why my children would need law enforcement officers.
So you didn't know what this was about at all when you were in the police car?
In the car, they told me.
Okay. In the car, they told you what?
They said, your ex-husband has been shot.
Okay. So that you learned that information prior to getting into the interview room?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember allowing law enforcement to take possession of your computer in that interview?
I told law enforcement to search my phone, search my computer, search my house, search my car. I was trying to be helpful.
Do you remember saying that it was okay for them to take the computer and keep it even though you had work things on there because you didn't think you would be going back to work?
I remember thinking it wasn't important. I couldn't imagine. My life fell apart.
But you didn't go back to work, did you, at FSU?
I did actually go back, not physically present, but I was still on the FSU payroll until December of that year.
Okay. In that interview with law enforcement, did you suggest that your parents are people who may have been angry enough to kill Dan Markel?
I suggested a lot of people who could have been angry enough to kill Danny.
And were some of the people my parents?
Yes.
But you said in the interview that you didn't think they were capable of it, didn't you?
I did.
If your mom wasn't capable of it, did she have anyone that she could enlist to assist her?
I don't know.
What was your first thought when you were asked if anyone might have murdered Dan Markel for your benefit?
I thought maybe a crazed friend or a former student.
It's not what you said, though, is it?
I don't remember exactly what I said first.
Fuck you,
You said Charlie, right?
If that's what I said, then you have it there. But I don't remember who I listed first.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if you
tell the
remember,
jury
Wendi.
You definitely did say Charlie as one of those people?
I did.
Do you remember saying, if somebody tried to kill my ex-husband, they should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law?
Yes.
And Isom says, regardless of who it is. And do you recall your answer?
I do recall my answer.
What was
Okay.
that?
I think I was hoping it wasn't anyone in my family. And so that idea that it was someone in my family gave me pause.
All right, but that wasn't your answer, was it?
I don't remember word for word what I
Okay.
said, but that was my sentiment at the time.
Was your answer for court and counsel, this is law enforcement interview page 122, lines 7 through 12. If somebody tried to kill my ex-husband, they should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Question, regardless of who it is. Answer, I mean, it would be different if I thought it were my brother.
Oh, she brought the receipts.
And that's where the wheels started moving. So Wendi did a bang up job today on the stand. Her brother, not Charlie, also took the stand. And I think we're going to be taking a look at some of those pieces tomorrow on that, because I caught a little bit of it, right? It's going on like literally as we're recording this. And I caught a few minutes of that and was like, I was on my porch upstairs. I take a little break in the afternoon for 10 minutes. I know. I do 10 minutes. I have a energy bar, and I usually smoke a little, and relax for a moment. And I was watching watching that, and I think my neighbors heard me go, "Oh!"
They just thought it was another day, though.
They probably did, but I can be vocal. But I'm like, I was pretty vocal. I was like, whoa! It was like big moments of things he was saying. I'm like, well, she's going to prison forever.
Right.
He said he remembers. He remembers all the oddities of the Adelsons. He remembers all the weird conversations and Donna suddenly shutting down conversations when it talked about Dan Markel and death and, a hitman and all those sort of things. And she was just, let's keep going down my road. Let's keep talking about the things I want to do and the way I want to do it. And it's an interesting one, but bravo to him for calling out his monster family. So yeah, that's the latest on the Adelsons. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are on Wendi's testimony today. I think a lot of us are really interested in it. Do you think she knew about the murder? That's the question. So let us know in the comments. Do you think she was? There's a lot of ways of looking at it. Do you think she knew about it before it happened? I think that's the biggest question. That her family was involved before it happened. And then was she aware of it after it happened that her family was involved in it? I feel like she started to really have a sickening feeling that it was, considering she vomited at dinner.
Yeah.
And I think the realization came. But did she know more before? And because she doesn't like confrontation, avoided any sort of confrontation that would have prevented the father of her children from being murdered. Tell me in the comments section what your thoughts are there on YouTube. Just search Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi if you're not already there. Make that same search wherever you're downloading podcasts to find us there as well. Until next time, for Todd, for Stacy, and myself, we will talk again real soon.
Want more on this case and others? Then press subscribe now and don't miss a moment of true crime coverage from Tony Bruschi and the Hidden Killers podcast.